Hey guys, Tbull. Today we got a game in the Yudachi for you. The Terror of the Sea, Tier 7 Japanese Destroyer. Space Fishy, the man in the pilot seat for this one. There's the ship. Oh, looks like we need to upgrade that epic mod into Legendary. But here we got a game, Haven, Capture the Base mode. And immediately when loading in, we're always going to be checking the ship composition. 4 destroyers, 5 battleships. Okay, that's interesting. So we always want to pull up the roster as well and take a look at things. Quickly looking at that one, the Fletcher is dangerous. The Kuniberte, I haven't actually played that one yet, so I'm a little unsure about exactly what it brings to the table. The other two, Kagero and Akatsuki, I believe, are no problems for me. A couple of secondary focused battleships, otherwise we don't really care about the battleships too much. So, what are we doing here? Well, the composition and the game mode is obviously going to design the strategy, or that's what you want to design the strategy around. And here, if we can kill the 4 destroyers, then we can nuke the battleships without any issues, right? So the name of this game, this is about as straightforward of an opening strategy as there really is, right? If you understand how to win in this game, all we got to do is kill 4 destroyers. And if we can keep enough of our destroyers alive while doing that, and the rest of the guys don't just get steamrolled, which is a lot of ifs, you'll note. But if those things go right, then this one's should be pretty easy. So we're coming over here to help spot, and we got a Brandenburg nearby. Now that's one of those secondary focused battleships, German battleships that we need to be aware of, all right, especially at this range. And I'm expecting there to be a destroyer probably in front of him or near him. At least there's one of them right there. We're not seeing a third ship over here either, so we do need to keep that in mind. That could indicate there's 2 destroyers over here, which is certainly possible. All right, so here's a little bit of a calculated risk. I'm thinking in my mind probably 3 or 4 shots before the secondaries start to cause a lot of problems. I can see if I can kill the Akatsuki, but they're starting to get a little scary pretty quick. So he disengages, and I follow suit, right? So both destroyers here use a smoke. And I lost about 1.5 thousand. He lost about 4,000, it looked like. So pretty even trade. We got a little bit of an advantage there, but that's kind of what you want to be doing early as a destroyer player. When we're trying to encounter the enemy destroyers, you don't always have to say to yourself, okay, I got to resolve this battle immediately. Now, I played destroyer extremely aggressively, and I will push quite often, sometimes foolishly, but generally, I think it's a good approach to try and score additional damage over the guy fighting you, and it's pretty easy if they're going to line up a torp shot or something like that. Gain an advantage. Gain 5,000, gain 10,000, and that way, even as a destroyer like Yudachi, if I can do that successfully, I can beat most of the ships when we re-engage moments later. So Kagero popped up there. He got into the smoke. I was thinking, well, maybe he's going to sit in the smoke. Probably not, but he noted undoubtedly that he was briefly spotted there. So I threw the torps at the left-hand side of that cloud, and here he is again. Now we want to move this, see that thing on the right-hand side of the screen, the island sticking out? We want that in between us and him. Hit the, he got one there. We hit the engine, knocked it out, and got those torps right on him there. Take a look at the top of the screen now. 3 destroyers down. We talked about the strategy of this game. That means this one's pretty much over. But see, we move forward here. Make sure that when the guy launched, he couldn't launch at this point, right? It was obscured by the island. So we want to make sure that we don't get hit by the torps. And now I'm thinking to myself, okay, we already got 3 destroyers down. I could nuke the Brandenburg and just trade the Yudachi. Here comes the Akatsuki, though. And that's a nice little bonus. So I'm slamming the brakes. I'm assuming he's launching right here. He's probably launching where I was going at the indicator. And me and the other guys nearby team up to blast him into oblivion. Look at this, though. The Leon. I was like, I didn't actually see the shot when I was playing. I think I was looking at something else on the screen. But I definitely felt it, right? And that was a bit of a head ringer there. So that was a big booming shot from the Leon. And okay, well, it doesn't really change anything, right? We came out 4 destroyers up compared to the enemy team. All they have left is battleships. It's the battleship nightmare scenario at this point. They're going to go on Reddit and complain about too many destroyers in this game. No doubt in unison as this game concludes. But basically it came down to who won the destroyer fight, right? All right, so pretty straightforward. But You're thinking to yourself, well, it's such a simple game. Why are we going to show it? Well, we do wind up with some extra accolades as this one goes on, we'll just say. So, we got a torp set on the Brandenburg. Normally, I don't ever want to stagger my torpedoes like this, but I wanted to hold one just in case he survived there, right? Because now if I, let's say I come up with another launch here in 10, 20 seconds, whatever it is, now my torps are going to be staggered for quite a while, and that's not very good to do it that way. So I don't know. Normally I would prefer to just throw them both out there and just be torpedo-less for the full reload, but it didn't work out in this instance. I just want to point that out here. If you're watching this and you're learning the game, I would never really go into a destroyer play like this trying to stagger the torps if I didn't have a very specific good reason. Leon coming in, he's close here. He's playing close to the island. Once again, 5-1 detection on this. So I'm trying to make sure we don't get detected. I'm also keeping my torpedo indicator on the board there so we can see, is he coming towards us, is he going away? Because if we get spotted here, you saw how nasty it was at 9 kilometers away, 16 guns at 5.1 kilometers away. We're not going to survive that. Okay, that's not a suicide rush scenario that we're going to possibly survive. Saw he was angling against the guys pushing him from that angle, launched behind him, and then Massachusetts. Check out this kill steal right here, and I'm thinking to myself, maybe even we got a double in the cards here because we can maybe hit this guy. Yes, we got him. And check out this launch here. Now, it's not going to be quite quick enough for the double, but it is going to connect for the 5th kill. So we're going to get it cracking in this game. And just another example of Yudachi play, but I wanted to kind of go over the strategy of the unique setup of the board there. So that's a look at the Yudachi for you guys. Hopefully you did enjoy it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. New to the channel, consider subscribing. Lots of World of Warships coming all the time. Questions, comments, leave below. Love to hear from you, and we'll see you later. All right, peace.